Hello there, welcome once again to the That's No Moon World Open Qualifier, round 1 in Daventry. Unfortunately had a little bit of technical issues going on there, so I'm hoping that is now resolved. No worries. Here we go.
The thing is, I'm doing this job, it's not the table, Do you have a secret code? That's fine. Two medical drawings
Hello.
Mostly there's no characters. Yes.
Sorry about the delay. So we are back. So you are joining us round 1 of That's No Moon World Open Qualifier. We've got Lee Macken, Andy Black. Turn 0 puts us at hemmed in, breakthrough and clear conditions. And we've got a Anakin 5-0 first list versus Blizzard Force. The Blizzard that we've got this time is the Blizzard that Ollie has been running for some time, which is Commander Vader, 2 HRUs, 2 Snows with medics, 4 bikes. So going into deployment in hemmed in, as you can see, Blizzard is blue. Takes a deep bid to make sure that they get that blue. So, Andy's list comes in at 797. There's 8 activations. He has got Anakin with Force Push, Saber Throw and Offensive Stance. He's got some Phase 2s with a Z6 and a Medic. He's got 2 squads of those. Sorry, he's got 1 squad with a Z6, 1 squad with a Mortar. And then you've got an Arc Strike team with Echo, and 3 full Arc teams with the Sniper, and an ATR team with the Laser Cannon. And Andy is playing against Lee, who is playing exactly the list that Ollie has been playing, which is Commander Vader with Improvised Orders, Burst of Speed, Force Push, Force Choke. He has got 2 HRUs with DLT-19s and HH-12s. He's got 2 snow troopers with medics and 4 bikes with no uplinks. That puts it at 783. So real deep bid there from the Blizzard. You can see on deployment they're putting their first squads down. We've got the first squad of snows just down by the barricade on this lovely indoor table that we've got going here. First squad of clones going down there. So it's like a phase 2.
Play true line of sight and see what we do.
Yeah, I think it's great. You can't cheat them.
Now we place the supplies and then we're going to go right next to the supplies. Naturally. There. It's supposed to be one way again.
Looks like the next squad's going down in the next.
Right, to continue to come down, this is the way the box is playing. We're going to use the commanders locally
So it's going down next to the Ewok village there, and you can see the first squad of bikes going down in response to that. Right into the corner of the Pending. So because we're playing Breakthrough, I think they're trying to hedge their bets with the 501st, splitting their forces a little bit, but make sure that it's not easy for the Blizzard to just walk straight into that zone and defend it. Clones making sure that they can keep the cohesion to have a range 1 bubble so that they can share some tokens. We've got 28 players today, so across 2 days we're going to have 5 rounds for 1 undefeated Worlds ticket on the line. We have got heaps of prizes and a good spread of lists. I believe we even have a triple ATST Tempest Force, which I'm quite excited to see on the table. Only a couple of Rebel players though, so we've only got 2 Rebel players on the whole pitch, which is interesting. I will be hoping that the Rebels do well, because they are still my favourite faction. The third squad of bikes going down there, just at the top left. I think this is really telling where the fourth squad of bikes is going to go. We've seen time and time again that they can be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, sure.
Your scope is range 4. Well, you've got the
After you control it, you got next.
So floating arc team there, just scouting forwards, again making sure they're in the cohesion for the token bubbles. So the lists this round are 501st the Blizzard Force. So it's Anakin 501st with 2 phase 2s with a mortar and a Z6, as well as both having a medic. There's 3 squads of sniper full arc teams and an echo, and Anakin all of the upgrades including push this time, and against Blizzard Force with double medic, double HRU, 4 bikes and a fully tricked out Vader. ATRT going down there, choosing not to scout. And this ATRT has the laser cannon, so the impact isn't going to come in too useful at this point, but it still makes a good fire support platform. Just checking some ranges here for the sniper fire.
Use the number tokens as the missiles because they're exhausted. They're only use them once, right?
We'll go with
We've got a heap of beautiful terrain tables going on here today. A lot of them provided by Andy from the podcast. There's also a couple from myself and a couple from Cockles, including the newest table that he's been making on our Instagram lives. The one you can see right here is the new Ewok village table that we just had built and painted, I believe Andy did, and it's come out really nice.
Is that loud? Can you get the second best?
No, I just got that one.
That's fine, because I know you said you were talking about it.
I'll get one next week.
Did you tell them the commentator? I told them that they can do that. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Fun.
So we go to the first HRU deploying down there, keeping within heavy cover, but making sure that the unit leader is the other side of the barricade so he can freely move wherever he likes. The next arc team scouting up the steps to the top of that Ewok village.
Hello, DK.
Going down with the next HRU squad, doing a similar thing, keeping the cohesion behind the barricade and making sure that the unit leader is in front. This is smart because you get in the heavy cover, but you can also move completely freely from the other side.
You do it, buddy. You can do it.
And this is telling us exactly where Commander Vader's going to be going. Making sure that he stays near those medical droids. Again, on deployment, just checking those ranges, making sure that they're staying within range of the pot shots for early turn 1. Again, another full arc squad going down there. Choosing not to scout this time. The next HRU squad, the next snowtrooper squad going down. Again, keeping within that bubble, making sure that they're safe. Being snowtroopers, they're not slowed down by the barricades, so they can pretty freely move wherever they want. Okay, with deployment done, moving into turn 1. Going for the command cards. Be interesting to see what we decide to go for here, because I think it's fairly confident we're going to see the Blizzard Bombardment card turn 1. Oh no, Darkness Descends. I'm just going to go and double check what the 501st card was, because that wasn't very long. Andy played Heroes of the Clone Wars, so the first permanent card for Anakin, which gives him Exemplar and Reliable 2, so he's going to be sharing those tokens. And then we've got Darkness Descends, so Vader is getting himself Reliable 2. So first squad of bikes they're activating straight from the bag, and I think what's going to happen is all the bikes are going to move to the left hand side, meaning that Andy's going to have to really move forward and try and get some more units in the other deployment zone to try and keep that a little bit safe. He's just blasting straight forward with a triple move. Making sure that with cohesion, he's keeping as much out of line of sight as possible. Great move for turn 1 there. Keeping him safe. He's already scoring. Not that he's scored until the end of the game, but great to get units in there early. He's going to make the Republic have to make some decisions. First squad of arcs activating. Moving up, making sure they've got range on the HRU squad in heavy cover.
He has direct AI, doesn't he? Or is it direct? Ah, right, okay.
So first shot of the game, it's going to be the arcs into the HRUs, try and get some of those wounds on early. If he can make the Snows spend some of their medic charges on the HRUs, that's less wounds for Vader. Oh, not looking amazing. Looks like 2 hits, 1 crit.
Sorry, I can't see that.
Oh, perfect roll back out from the Snows there, taking no wounds. From the HRU, sorry, taking no wounds, which is a great start to the Empire. Disappointed with the fire support shot from the clones there. Second squad of bikes coming off the stack there. Taps improvised, gets another squad of bikes. And I think we can tell what's going to happen here. I think the bikes are going to follow suit. Just remembering to put the tokens on Vader there, I think. Getting his opponent to cut the tokens. He's not using a bag. Yeah, you can see here, going for that triple move. Triple move into the scoring zone. Again, can't score this turn, but perfect spot for the next round. And if he chooses to, he can just plow straight through the Republic lines. I don't think it's not quite as devastating as it would be into Rebels or CIS, but
because of
5-0 first going with some more ARC troopers. Going to climb up the wall. This is the Echo squad. Just going to move, which gives him an aim. Lovely, crit and a hit, spending that aim to give himself pierce. Takes out first of the HRU minis. First blood goes to the Republic. Wow. Empire again pulling another squad of bikes. I'm going to say that's not what he wanted. The fact that he tapped improvised on the last squad. Cannot pull anything but bikes here. But still not bad. Moving again behind some cover. I think turn 1, as usual, is a turn for positioning more than anything.
If he blanks out, not quite blanks out, if he rolls 2 and then I pierce the 2, does that count as blanking out? Got the actual full. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, I'll pierce those 2.
Just like a little bit of cleaning up going on here. Okay, so the first of the HRUs activating and they rally. They lose 1 suppression, so they are still suppressed. Luckily, having Vader, you can compel.
Pass when you get to it then.
The objective is breakthrough. We're playing clear conditions, hemmed in, and breakthrough. No, this is not TTR. We are at Battlefield Hobbies in Northampton. Not in Northampton, in Daventry today. Great shop, great level of stock, loads of play tables. We have got 28 players today. So huge amount of tables available. Load of games.
Sorry.
First, the next quarter arcs activating. I think again, just making sure that they got line of sight. That whole stairway that they're standing on the right hand side of the screen there goes up to a height 2 platform, I believe. And just trying to decide if he's climbing back down to get some better cover. Got to be pretty careful of that burst of speed Vader, because he can move quickly when he wants to. Get straight in your lines, eat your face.
I'm second guess myself. I'm pretty sure it's damage.
And he's all on his face.
Speed one over it.
Climb doesn't trigger it.
It does.
Climb does not. Climb, that's different to a move.
Okay, so climb doesn't, jump does.
Just got a question here on whether tactical triggers on a climb, but because it's not a standard move, it does not. It's not the same as jump. Currently, Vader is just underneath the platform on the top of the screen by the rest of the HRU squads, and that. And if you notice that there's an ion token on the table, that is to signify that he has spent improvised orders this round.
I am going to use the missiles.
Arc Trooper's just moving up into cohesion. And then taking a pot shot again on some Snow Troopers this time.
Precision 1, so when I re-roll 1 extra dice. And last, so no half.
Just taking the the shot straight on the heavy cover there, taking a suppression on the snows.
You get to roll 5.
Final squad of bikes. I think we all know what's going to go on here. Just moving up, playing it smart and safe with the bikes.
Call it out. Bounty, you blank out.
If you can get them all on an alpha strike, sometimes that's a great turn 1, but it's also good just to keep them safe. Just going with that compulsory move at the end there. These bikes are in a great spot to get an attack on the next round though. Pulling the ATRT. So interesting that the clones have to take an ATRT in the 501st box. I think this it's an interesting choice to go for the ATRT over the Bark, and I think that is predominantly because of the armour meta that we're currently in. If you come across some Dark Troopers, having that surge to crit as a fire support platform with impact natively is pretty good. Or surge to hit, sorry.
So I've done a pass. I went first. A pass.
So he's taking a move action,
You've done 3. I've done 3.
and then I think he's just going to take a pot shot again on the snow troopers there, just making sure he's got range. It's pretty close. A little bit of nudging going on. Oh, 2 crits straight into 2 blanks, so another 2 wounds on the snow troopers there. So that is a unit leader and a medic, I believe. Let's see if the Snows Rally won. Still left on 1. So they're going to compel. Going to compel and then double move. With the compel, they're going to double move, I believe, into a safer spot. I think they might try and take the pot shot of 1 white dice with steady, which is a blank. Always worth making sure that you take that pot shot with steady, even if it's just the 1 man, because you know you can still get crits on 1. Okay, so the next Special Forces, which I think is actually the last Special Forces unit still to activate.
Into the fray. So every time you activate within range 1, you get a...
Just making a move action. Again with steady.
You need it for his defense. You're about to smack it.
So it's measuring up for a Vader climb and then move. See if he can force push some clones into the red blade of Vader. Takes a sniper shot.
So it's to reroll the last one. Just not
Yeah, so he's just going to get that pierce by spending the aim.
So 3 moves, and I'll use 2 surges.
Another core squad for the for the Blizzard.
Okay, folks, first bounty has been claimed. So the next one is to completely blank out on an attack roll. Okay, and more than 1 dice, please.
So the first bounty of the round has been claimed, which is to completely blank out on a defensive roll. So that has been claimed already, and now it's another one if you completely blank out on an attack roll. Lots of bounty prizes throughout the day. If you beat Cockles, you get a jazzy white dice. If you beat Ollie, you get a jazzy red dice. So there's plenty of prizes up for grabs throughout the day, which is a great way to run the event. So HRU is taking a heavy cover shot on some arcs, and they're just getting a suppression because there was a silhouette shot there, but heavy cover nonetheless. taking all of those hits.
I would like those back. I would like
No, it hasn't.
Sorry, I went with Barney.
Okay, the last unit of clones activating. And they're just going to double move to the rest of the clone ball to be able to take advantage of any tokens that are coming through. Make sure he's range 1 with the cohesion of absolutely everything in his list. Final squad of snow troopers here, activating. They're going to move up. With steady, they're going to take a 3 white dice shot. Oh, there's a crit that's gone through, which is always nice to see on those white dice. And it looks like there was a blank. So those snow trooper white dice really paying off there. Making sure they stay out of line of sight with cohesion. Got a real pincer attack going on here for round 2.
Easier for these guys to see you. I can see you from here. Obviously now I can't see you at all.
So if you're just joining us, we've got Lee Macken and Andy Platt playing. So Lee is playing a Blizzard Force, Vader, double HRU, double Snow Trooper Medic, 4 bikes. And we've got Andy who's playing 501st, Anakin, 2 phase 2s, 3 full arcs, 1 Echo Strike team, and an ATRT with a laser cannon. And we're playing Hemmed In, Clear Conditions, and Breakthrough. I think we're just having a judge call here on whether you can climb up the tree, because that is going to put you in the middle.
Insane. I'm under the bridge.
It's a bit of a strange rule at the moment. You don't have to get to the edge. As long as you're in the base, you can climb. Just got the TOs cool here. You see Ollie poking his hand in. Also just trying to work out the burst of speed move.
I know I need to.
You see what happens?
Horrible list.
I'm also a horrible pretty much.
Yeah, we don't really do this fight until round 5. It'll be a very long range game. First like 4 rounds.
I think there's a real element of measure twice, cut once here. Vader is fairly safe for the rest of this round, being that there's no activations left on the clones, so it's just going to come down to the start of turn 2. If Vader can get that 1 pip in before Anakin can get a counter 1 pip in, means that Vader will be pretty safe. Otherwise, there's a real chance he could get a fire support shot off on Vader before.
Does the Oop droid make it visible?
Yeah, so he's measured to make sure he's within force push range. Oh, interesting. He's going to climb back down. So he's out of line of sight of the majority of the of the 501st there. He's within range 1 of the arcs, so I think he's going to get that choke. Yeah, there it goes. That first choke gone. The way that choke got changed now, there is a 1-use card, and you no longer get to choose the mini that is killed, which is an interesting change.
And yeah, that's it. So.
And then we're cleaning down for the end of turn 1. So some real interesting positioning going on here. I think the 501st are going to have to play pretty defensively, because you've got 4 squads of bikes in the scoring zone already, so they could just do handbrake turns, and that's 4-0. I'm not sure that is how they're going to play that. I think the Blizzard Force's MO is normally just to absolutely tear through someone's lines. But going back to command cards, and what I think is going to come here is a 1 pip from both of them. You can see that Vader is poised and ready to tear through the lines. Just going to swap over to this camera so we can see what command cards they play. If they don't leave them long enough, I'm going to have to go and see what they play. Selected. Oh, okay, so Anakin's 2 pip. Glare meant that I couldn't see exactly which 1 pip that was, so I'm going to go and check. So we actually had Fear and Deadman, not the Vader 1 pip that I was expecting, but instead going for the 2 pip.
Can't quite get to your base because of the
And Anakin plays, you underestimate my power, so that's the permanent surge to crit, Marshal of the Force and defend 1. So again, like I thought, he's going to play that a little bit more defensively. So Anakin and Vader both with orders. And the phase 1s in the order there as well. Sorry, phase 2s. There's no phase 1s in the 501st whatsoever. So Vader won the roll off with the chance cube. And opted to go to the bag, so saving Vader for later in the turn for a dive, keeping him that little bit more safe. This is the main downside with with any list that's got any table, sorry, that we're trying to stream that has an overhang. Players tend to hide most of their list under the overhang, so you can't actually see most of what's going on here. So I apologise for that, but I believe that the HRU squad that attacked in the last round is going again, attacking the sliver of the silhouette there. Looks like there is heavy cover, 3 hits, down to 1, and they're just going to spend a dodge. And then they're going to second action, move up, follow Vader. Keeps them out of line of sight because that whole corner ladder is keeping pretty much everything out of line of sight. There's a full wall.
You probably only then
A lot of line of sight checks going on here for each player. Gets a little bit sweaty when you're on camera, making sure that you've got line of sight to certain units. You don't want to be caught out. Boo-boo. So going with that first squad of ARC troopers at the top of the ladder that got choked in the last round. They have both activations going on here. I think the problem that you've got is you don't want to present your unit to Vader because he can sandbag himself in melee and keep himself a little bit more safe. Especially with medics going on, any shots, pot shots that you get, you kind of need to focus it down. He's currently got no dodge, so he doesn't have deflect up, I don't believe.
It's getting fire support as surge to 3.
So again, just measuring up the measuring up the double move on the arcs. Keep them a bit more safe at the top. Yeah, so double moving up with the ARC troopers there, getting them out of range of Vader. So there's no more choke, which I think makes a lot of sense because you can keep that activation alive. They're now in position that they could move towards the objective. Blizzard Force going back to the bag, getting another core. I think he wants to save the bikes until a bit more has gone, so that the retaliation isn't going to be quite so brutal.
Mandalorians get an
The text to an objective pass is not like
Double move with a, or at least moving up an HRU. So 5-0 first going to the bag. Ooh, Special Forces. Here we go. Starting to look at the bike's path, where they're going to be able to just tear through some clones if they're not in cover.
The Magna Guard directly away.
Oh, I forgot to tap. Oh no, they didn't tap because they. You are back a bit.
I might. I'll do a second show on the Magna Guard actually. So one's there.
So Andy is going to activate that Echo Squad there.
So that's my 2 free actions. Real actions. Because of Judo Motion.
Taking a shot on a sliver of. Oh no. No, he's got no line of sight on.
Have a pina colada.
Right, so yeah, he's got a sliver of line of sight there. So it was one, and there's a loss of a stormtrooper.
So, yeah, I'm going to stand by again. I did disengage with the shooting.
Sorry about that. Just had to make sure that we're asking the players to roll their dice so we can see them. So spending the improvise orders there to get a bike over the core. Checking what his minimum distance needs to be to get a pot shot off with the bikes into some clones.
Not the great
So first action on the bike is the compulsory move.
That is a good question.
One piece would still take control 7 dice.
Trying to work out now if he can fly it off the table and make it back on in the move to make it a fully legal move. I don't think he's going to get. Well, he's obviously not going to get into range for an attack this turn. Playing a little bit more the way that Ollie does with his bikes, keeping them until later on in the round when you've already had things picked off can be completely devastating. As if you've seen the battle report that we filmed a couple of weeks ago where I played against Ollie, his bikes absolutely destroyed my bikes and my man bikes.
In the same way that you've built into Anakin chip zones, you need to
claim the actual objective.
So if I go first, trying to work out where they want to go. So drawing the special forces, see if they can rally, which they do not. They're not going to panic because they've got the courage of Anakin. Ooh, just taking a standby. This is interesting because this means that if Vader pops back up, it's got some good area denial there. Especially with the face up on the phase 2, so you could fire support on that standby if it triggers, if Vader moves too aggressively. Going with the second squad of bikes. I think again trying to work out how far those moves are going to make you. Working out that double or triple move with the bikes.
Last exit. Will have been covered, but
Ooh, so the bike's first action. Dodge.
we need to take
And they've taken the compulsory already.
1+ cover.
So the ATRT.
Second. 2+ cover. So you could reach every other 2, hoping for another crit.
I spend the dodge and block one.
Trying to work out what the best move is with the ATRT. Personally, I think maybe moving and standby would be a great choice because you can again have more air denial for Vader. Setting off those standbys, there's still the phase 2 to fire support in.
I can't use that. You can't use the range 3 and range 4. Yeah, you can use the range 4 to connect that.
He does have saber throw on Anakin, so again you can fire support with that as well.
Can I move
Plenty of potential fire support options for that phase 2 squad.
say that was a speed one.
Just marking the terrain there.
Give the suggestion for a free move. So it's going to move forward and then go cover.
So the ATRT has taken a pot shot here with an aim and a shoot, just a crit and a blank. So he is taking the thread the needle shot. On what looks like an HRU squad.
He was in the bag.
That's why I was like,
Blizzard Force pulling a core. Got the last one of the snow squads, which are both 2 men and a med droid that's spent 1 charge each. So through the tree supports, they've got line of sight to the AT-RT. So what he's going to do is take an aim, then a move. Triggering the steady with the move. Just a hit, and that's going to bounce off the armour, I believe.
No, you roll it off.
There you go, so one of the phase 2 squads take they're going to move up. And then measuring for that standby.
Yeah. Is it too late to
Yeah, so that second action is a standby. So moving up and taking a standby. This means that Vader's path is pretty denied on making a dive, as he's not made it right at the start. Okay, so with the support there, he's going with the bikes. For that first move. Second move around the corner. Now it'll be interesting to see if he takes a dodge as his third action or if he moves a little bit more aggressively. There is still things to activate, so I think he's going to take that dodge and play it that little bit more safe.
Oh, so you have all. Once you know
Yeah, that's exactly what he's done there. So moving up another full arc squad. Again, shooting through the trees from the support underneath the platform is a tree like the one on the top right where you can see the greenery is taken off. So it's not a completely flush building. So there is lines of sight underneath. So the arc squad there.
I nearly went for the grass.
With an aim from tactical. Oh, that's pretty good, even with the heavy cover.
Oh, that's really bad.
Suppression. Oh,
It's like a pretty heavy death toll on the snows there. Let me just check if that was a snow or an HRU.
Surge hits.
That's just 4. So 3.
So that was on the snows, and the snow is down to just the unit leader, and the medic is gone and had only spent 1 charge, which is pretty good. If you can deny Vader getting some extra wounds back, that is absolutely pivotal in certain games.
I just like horse every time. I just shoot.
So still choosing not to activate Vader. 1 core left. Tries to rally, doesn't rally. I believe it's the snow that's down to a single unit leader that's going now.
Get to there.
Oh, actually no, I'm wrong. It's the snow still with the medic that's activating. And moves and tries to get as much of his troopers out of line of sight as possible there. Smart move, because those pot shots have been really ticking away at the medics. So clones choosing to activate deciding whether to activate their core.
Oh, it's covered.
Wonder if we're going to get another standby here just to really cut off where Vader's going, or if we're going to get a move and a pot shot. It's great to see some people playing 501st after the initial disappointment with the box. It's nice to see that these battle forces are actually becoming more popular. Adds a real interesting flavour to the game, and it means that you've seen a bit more variety of units. Like, it's been a long time since we've seen full arcs, since Rex Star pretty much, and the clone token sharing nerf. So it's nice to see some clone 501st. It's a shame we don't see more Captain Rex, but I think he still needs a little bit of love, especially since Cody came out, who is a great commander for the clones. There we go. There's the move and standby.
No, you're still going to be 50% covered.
No, it's going to be a move and a shoot. Sorry.
So that was last rules. This is vehicles have to be 50% covered to play. So yeah, but you've got tall as well.
There's E6 there. We've got a good amount of paint going on here. couple of crits there. It's nice to see some crits on white dice.
Is the height of the vehicle that looks so basically
So after cover, we've got 5 hits. Oh, devastating! That is a full one shot on a unit there, or on an HRU, which is huge.
But the other two are actually.
I think it's important for the clones to be able to try and take out as much as they can early in the game, because if you can take out the minis playing really defensively, you can make a real sprint, even if you only get one through in the breakthrough. Sorry, if everything else is dead in the list, you're going to come through to points.
Reroll these 3. 3 hits.
So Lou just measuring up how far he needs to go to get a shot off on with his final squad of bikes. I think he is probably at this point going to hold them back and fire through with the whole squad in the next round, but you never know, he might try and get an early pot shot. Well, not too early, but he might try and get that pot shot off. So starting off with the compulsory.
Alright. Your movement.
So you can definitely make another move, even if it's just a partial move, and get range on some clones there. I think that's probably what I would do personally, but sometimes I'm guilty of being a little bit too greedy with trying to get shots off too early. Yeah, there we go. So the second move is moving up into range, keeping the second bike behind the heavy cover, and it's going to take a pot shot on. Yeah, here we go. 3 with heavy cover, down to 1. Oh, and the clone saves.
Are you revealing cash?
You deliberately put your leader in the place and get that just make sure otherwise, out of your rainbows, you probably spend your hard to get a hit. So,
I think still a little bit worried about what Vader's going to do. There's some good standbys to the left of the clone ball. So Anakin activating, trying to work out the best place to move him. I think because he's getting the he's getting a suppression because of the find the name of the card. So he is getting a suppression because he did not perform an attack action. With defensive stance, he's got 2 dodges, which he can share with the rest of the list, and he's taking a standby. Getting a pot shot off there, completely defended. Standby with Vader. He's going to force push all of those ARC troopers there into melee with Vader. So with the climb, all but one. I think that is probably a dead unit of arcs. Well, actually no. Look, after sharing some dodges, it's down to 3. With impervious, with Vader's PS3, that is going to be 3 dead arcs, leaving just the unit leader, which is where Vader wants to be because he's now safe from being shot. As you go into the next round, that is going to be a real nice spot for Vader, because the first thing that the ARC Trooper is going to have to do is either disengage or punch, potentially standby, because then if Vader force pushes him, he can move back into melee, and then Vader's going to have to disengage or swing his lightsaber. So that's actually not quite so bad. But that is the end of round 2. You can see we're clearing up now. It'll be interesting to see where we go with command cards at this point now. Sorry.
So roll a red dice. That is damage. Roll the white dice with
I'll go with.
my second salvo is going to be and he's getting isolated by the missile launcher in the back there. This is where I'm probably
I don't know anything left, so.
Yes, you've got some heavy I do indeed. So I will spend so that's 5 bricks.
Right, so the first time I got the pool,
Disable part reverse and to move is now 2 actions.
It depends on how many moves is best contact. Next this one move, that's a disembark.
Finish up. Do you have any more?
Canada space.
More digital, so you can keep the dot.
Okay, so we had lead from the front, an overwhelming barrage. Interesting to see overwhelming barrage played slightly later in the round. Normally that is a real early command card just to try and make good use of anything that you can see. But the 501st 1-pip lead from the front. Counts as a 3-pip when you're building it, or sorry, a 2-pip when you're building it. Is basically tokening up, which is a smart move when Vader's in the thick of it, because he could quite easily be moving in. So playing that a little bit more defensively. But he doesn't need. He can use overwhelming barrage on Vader while still in melee, so he could in theory keep himself that little bit safer. Pulling the special forces straight away. I think this would really decide what Vader's going to do. So yeah, he's going to spend his activation to disengage to force Vader to have to activate next. So taking the disengage action, it's your whole activation. So if Lee chooses to ignore that particular scout, if he chooses to ignore that particular ARC trooper, that guy could then just run off, but he could just move back into melee. So it'd be interesting to see what he decides to go with. Vader does have the 2 surge tokens, doesn't have a dodge, so he's got no deflect, but Vader, as we know, has a heavy health pool, 8 wounds, so he could probably tank an attack, but oh, there you go, so that's the first choke.
Maybe you've got a clinch. But would it not be better to direct them to give us
Oh, sorry, it is not one use. It's no longer choose the. You don't choose the mini, it goes up to 10. So Vader moving back down to a slightly safer spot. Clone troopers rolling the Z6. It's looking like a pretty good attack here. You're rolling with the aim. Oh, 2 more crits. Spending another aim from Exemplar. Sorry, from clone token sharing. That is going to be some heavy losses to the HRU there. 4 minis gone. These clones really doing some work today.
Okay, so you can't shoot with this guy. Yeah, he's big enough to be our
Blizzard pulling a bike. He's going to shoot as his first action. Just 2 after cover.
That one's free.
2 just checking that they can spend a dodge. Spend a surge.
So shuffle it a little bit. Pull out the top 2. Choose 1.
And then it looks like the bike's going to be pulling the handbrake. Doing a move as your second action. And then moving out again as your compulsory there to get out of line of sight. It's 126 you've had. No, you've had.
Which basically means improve your cover by 1. So you could essentially save if you've got cover. These guys.
So keeping those bikes a little bit safer once they've made the pot shot. Coming out next is some ARC troopers. So moving Echo. To get an aim. And then Echo taking a shot here. Looks like he's going to try and continue working on that same HRU. Crit, spending the aim for lethal to make sure that HRU is now completely wiped out.
So they don't panic. They only get 1 action. They're going to be dead. Well, they won't make it out of range, but they will.
Feels like Blizzard are now playing into the 501st hand, because what they want to do is token up and just have that murder ball.
And then his compulsory.
Activating the next core. Blizzard Force starting to move up a little bit more. It's the Snow Troopers. Looks like they're just moving up out of line of sight to stay that little bit safer and keep that spare wound on the medical droid. Phase 2 clone troopers activating. This is the squad with the mortar, so if they're moving they can't fire the mortar. So you're going to climb down. really trying to get that arc into Vader, but I think the curvature on the stairs is going to keep him. It's going to keep him out of line of sight. Some good cagey play on the from Vader there. Oh no, sorry, gonna just move up because there's no shot from the with a silhouette. So just taking a second to just decide what we're going to do. This is round one of a world's qualifier. It's important
59 minutes left on the round.
It's important to get that win round one, so that you can keep that dream alive. Okay, so moving up with the phase twos.
It's Vader. Vader will
staying in cohesion and just keeping that activation a little bit safer.
Magnus, Kalani,
Getting another core now. It's got to be his last HRU squad. Just going to move up and stay that little bit safer. I think we might see some slightly more cagey play now until the later rounds, just to conserve your activations, move up, and try and get some objectives scored.
Instead of taking dodges, they get free moves when they get
So some ARC troopers moving up, taking a dodge. No, I believe that's a standby. Let me just double check. No, that was a dodge, not a standby. So again, just to keep them that little bit safer.
Magnus will go, they'll be in the range.
So a squad of bikes.
So you can re-roll that one or wait for the second round.
Oh no, that is the arcs. So the arcs moving and then taking a shot, sorry, on the bikes. Getting 4 through after cover. The bike saving 2 of 4. That is my mistake for not knowing the 501st command cards. So now some bikes going. So the bikes starting off with their compulsory move. All the bikes coming through late in this game, meaning that they can take a little bit more advantage of the fact that a lot of the clones have gone, so the return fire is going to be low. So moving up, just checking that they've got the arc.
Anywhere, yeah.
So moving with the compulsory, taking an aim, then shooting, or you're gonna need it. So 3 down to 1, and it's saved. I feel like the Empire getting quite unlucky on their attack rolls here. So Arc Trooper trying to rally. You get 1 of 3. It's just trying to work out where we're going next. I feel like they're in a bit of a tough spot here because the bike's still to activate. They've still got full health and some teeth, so he's taking a pot shot on the unactivated bike. So we have 2. Ooh, and a blank. That is a wound on the activated bike, just with the sniper rifle.
I don't think you can pivot.
Okay, so now going back to the unactivated bike, just trying to work out where range is. I don't think he's going to be able to get an aim on this shot. I think it's going to have to be a double move and then a shot. Okay, so move into range.
Yep. Shoot and then one plus cover. No, because it's maximum 6.
So the bike's no aim. Oh, it's no, with an aim, sorry. So it was a single move. Aim and shoot. Ooh, 2 surges on the clone dice there. Never what you want to see as a clone player if you don't have the tokens. Just going to lose some arcs. ATRT activating. He's gonna move. He's gonna take that heavy laser cannon shot into the bikes. They're on 2 wounds. Just 1 crit. Oh, and he gets a save. He was really hoping to get rid of that second bike model there, take half of the teeth out of the unit. Going with the final squad of bikes. Got a compulsory move. So this one is going to have to be a double move. So there'll be no aim on this shot. Continuing on that same squad. Wants to make sure that you just focus fire, try and get rid of some clones. Oh wow, great roll on there from the bikes. 2 to cover, still 4 to defend. That is a huge roll. They're spending some dodges with Exemplar, making it down to 1. Wow, and they save. That is a great save. Great use of the clone tokens and the dodge that they had themselves. And the Exemplar from Anakin there.
So if any part of it's basically a big project. So if any part
Here we go. So seeing if the clones can move into range under the walkway there. Really trying to get rid of that last bike, or that first bike model in the squad. Sorry.
Treated them like
So taking a move and a shoot here.
they've got that. I was thinking of saving the other day.
It's with Anakin, so he's got the saber throw. Kills the model with Pierce. That is the end of the round. So Vader's in an interesting position. We've used... Vader's still got both 1 pips and a 3 pip, which I'm assuming is Master of Evil. The clones have got 2 more 1 pips as well, I believe.
any part of the team takes terrain. I thought it was any part of the
So we've got Vader's Implacable. So Implacable, if you've not used it before, is at the end of Vader's activation, he can take a wound to put his command card back, his token, back in the bag. At this point in the game, that is huge because Vader has taken no wounds and he is in a good place to strike. So this is probably where I think you're going to see him pop burst of speed. So he'll be speed 3 for the whole round, and Andy played leaders of the 501st. So permanent friendly units at range 1 to 2 of Anakin gain Indomitable. So they're rallying on a red dice. So this is going to be really really key. Because Vader can definitely chew through some activations here. Be interesting to see if he decides to take on Anakin, or if he just tries to wipe out some clones. So measuring there, you can definitely get to Echo, and I think that's probably a dead Echo at that point. With a relentless attack, and then the next time it gets pulled, he can just move straight into that squad of phase 2s, who are then going to be keeping him safe in melee. Lots of measuring going on just to check. Andy obviously saw this coming, so getting out more orders is pretty good, especially being able to rally on the reds there.
And then re-rolls.
If you're climbing like a high piece of terrain,
And you go he's going to direct
If he dies,
I think we've had it come up on the channel a little
now he's probably going to happen.
over it.
So I'm stuck to it.
So it's just asking for a bit of a rules clarification on the new climb. It's an interesting one. So it's just asking if being the other side of that wall, whether your climb action you would have to stop on top of the wooden steps, or if you could clear the whole thing. So going with the bikes there's a pivot, a compulsory, a standard move, and then the compulsory move there. Keeping those bikes in the scoring zone. There's only one left, so that one is a little bit vulnerable. So he's gonna hold that one back and keep them safe for later. There we go. So Echo now choosing to activate. We do have a fire support available. It all depends on the line of sight.
Frank's dead, and I've got
Okay, so just going with Echo's squad.
I
think Echo's they're trying to work out if he's going to shoot the last of the snow troopers. So there's still a medbot. Oh, very nice. Oh, double blanks on the snows there. I think because of line of sight. Oh no, yep, both gone. Both of the snow trooper minis have gone. Now this is interesting because that's 2 units that he's managed to wipe out the medbot before he's used both charges, which is really big when you've got an 8-wound Vader who's ready to pounce. Ideally, you want to keep it so that you can rip wounds off Vader, but Andy has managed to counter that nicely. Okay, so activating a squad of bikes. So Lee trying to decide where he's going to go with the bikes. Does he shoot and then double move with the handbrake again? Does he aim, shoot and then move? Oh, he taps improvised. He gets another bike. So Lee's going to let Andy cut the order stack because he's not using a bag, keeping it nice and fair, completely random.
You sure? There's no one else being over yet?
So that is 1 crit.
We're going to try to work out
Yeah. So
which way he's going to move with those bikes to keep them, to preserve the activations, because I think it's going to come down to how much you can keep alive at this point. So we're still in turn 4. There's plenty of time for Andy to move his clone ball up and get some into the scoring zone. So if he can take out more activations, this is going to mean that Lee's going to have to play really aggressively.
So one goes to suppress. So one will go to suppression.
So the speeder bike's taking their first shot after cover. There's four to defend. Oh, 3 wounds. Wipes out the squad. It's exactly what he needs to do. Take some activations off the table.
It will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Making sure that he stays in cohesion behind the line of, the barricade there.
Does he monitor suppression to everyone?
Try that. Come on, Tanky boy.
So measuring up the core on those speeder bikes who've just activated.
That Ion was on Dark Troopers. Dark Troopers.
Oh, decides to move instead of shoot.
Dark Troopers. So that's your
Making sure that he stays within range 1 so that you can share tokens. Oh no, he's moving and still shooting. I believe he still has line of sight on the bikes there. Oh, heavy shot. One turn switch. It's going down. Well, we've got some bikes shooting. Some clones shooting into some bikes here.
Cool. Chris Smith has defeated Kev Jones. I defeated my son. Yes.
Oh, and the bike's taking a wound there. Pulling the next squad of bikes. So starting off with a compulsory move. In other news, Cockles defeated Mini Cockles, and Chris Smith with the Palp IRG and IG88 list has also won. First results coming in.
So he doesn't usually do order.
So Bike's still just working out who's going to be best to shoot.
I'm just looking to see when this Vader's campaign.
Crockles. Crockles.
Run them up together.
There we go. So Bike's moving up, getting the cohesion.
That's going to be no one on there.
Trick everyone to get
So compulsory move, aim, shoot. After cover goes down to 2. We've had some saves. Just a suppression on the clones. Trying to rally, takes 1 off. So he's going to get both actions. Moving up, tactical is going to get him an aim, and I think he's just going to keep working on those same bikes.
It's right, you're going to reroll 2 straight away. So 3 and 2. Can't use a shield in he dies.
So choosing to hold Vader back until late in the game as well has been real key. So here we go. So special forces, spending the aim for lethal. 3 after cover. Oh, there is a dead bike. That is exactly what he wants from a unit that's not activated yet.
Range 1.
So at this point, he's held Vader back pretty late. He's got 1 more bike to activate. So I'm interested to see if he's going to take the bike or if he's going to just burst Vader.
So that is 7 and 7. So
he shut down
So there's a little gap in between, which is going to be the reason that he's measuring with a 2. So if he pops burst of speed, he's going to go. Yeah.
10 hits. 9.
Aggressive, aggressive.
Roll for 9.
Trying to work out where he can get with that burst of speed double move.
I'm really stupid.
Here we go. And then the second move, he's going to charge straight in with Relentless. Now I believe he's charging straight into Anakin, but no, there you go, he's charged straight into the clones. Try and take some more activations off the table. And with Relentless, he's going to swing that lightsaber. And that looks like all hits. So now it'll be interesting to see if he keeps one alive, because Pierce is optional, so it'll be interesting to see if he decides to keep any alive, depending on the save. Because that will keep him safe from any other activations coming this turn.
How's the game going?
Oh, the game's going pretty good. Just trying to work out if he's going to keep any of these clones alive with his optional Pierce. So save 4 of 5. Yeah, so he's kept clone alive in melee with Vader. So at the moment we're playing Breakthrough on Hemmed In and Clear. So we've got 4 squads of bikes, which are really close to the objective here, and they have been since turn 1. The 501st have been turtled up and really giving the Blizzard Force a real battering. He's lost both HRUs. He's got 1 HRU left. He's lost both snows. He's got an AT-RT still alive on the clones have only lost a couple of squads, so they're sitting in a good spot. If they can move towards the breakthrough zone, I think the clones might take this one.
I'm going to go do some results confirming over here.
Okay, so the AT-RT activating now. I think we're probably going to see a pivot and a shoot into the bikes. Yep, Vader taking a wound. Sorry, not the AT-RT. Vader taking a wound at the end of his activation to shuffle his order back into the pool. And then, yeah, here we go. Now the AT-RT activates. Okay, so I think the AT-RT is going to move towards the objective, keeping the full armor scoring the objective. I think is what the plan is going to be. Oh, immediately pulling Vader. This is interesting now. So he's got some tough choices to make here, because he could force push the clones out of melee with Vader and then relentless charge into Anakin, or he could just swing his lightsaber at that same squad. Triggering the standby.
Bursting speed.
Not a bloody game at all.
Basically, I'm a nut. I didn't realise that it wouldn't work because I had no kill points. She won. I thought this was all singing all dancing.
Okay, so Vader isn't in melee with anybody at the moment. He's next to Anakin, but he did kill that entire squad in the last round. So activating, he gets a dodge. He's triggered the standby. He's been shot. He didn't take any wounds. He's trying to work out where Vader's going to go now. So he's going to force push a squad of clones out into the open, I think.
And then he's going to go. This is round 4.
Just trying to work out which way he's pushing him. Yeah, here we go. Yep. There's the force push. He's trying to make sure that he can stay safe in melee with another burst move. And make sure that he's within scoring range, because remember, in this next turn he's going to be immobilized and be at 0 speed. Now streaming, we try and stay impartial, but I'm pretty sure with the latest change to force push, Andy would be the one who does the cohesion. Obviously Lee is cohesing him so that he can get into the scoring zone, but try not to get involved with those, because we want to stay completely impartial, and I'm not a judge for this tournament. Okay, so with Relentless, he's getting all the hits. As it's Special Forces, he is going to have Impervious. I think that squad is completely dead. Okay, so leaving one alive to keep him safe in melee, that is smart choice. Means that he's not going to get left in the open. Although Vader does have a dodge, it's still a dangerous place to be. Do have a hard dice down at 2.5 hours on the round, so I think they're going to have to start getting a move on. There's only 20 minutes left before they're completely diced down. Actually, I think it's slightly less than 20 minutes left. Yeah, Vader getting his immobilized token.
Well, you might send somebody else in on it.
How long's that? I will shout at 15 and then I'll shout at 5.
I'm just trying to work out what's going on. I feel like Anakin might be force pushing Vader into the open here, just to leave the rest of Andy's list to shoot. Yeah, so a force push. Ooh. 2 hits, 2 blocks. Vader cares not for your saber throw. I think he was trying to make him spend his dodge so that the phase 2s can just unload everything into him. But Lee managing to stay safe with Vader just on that single wound. Andy taking a move action so that he's within range of the arcs to bring one arc back with the medic charge. And then taking a full shot with the Z6. Not looking like the best roll, but 3. Ooh, put in 2 wounds on Vader.
So you need 6 shields.
So leaving Vader on 3. Okay, the final bike.
Alright. I'm finished.
So the final bike is going to take its compulsory move. I wonder if he's going to try and take out those 2 ARC troopers that are just sat in the open. There is only 15 minutes until hard dice down, so that is going to change what these guys are going to do. I think Lee is going to triple move into the deployment zone, into the scoring zone, which I think is probably the smart move. If he can keep the rest of Andy's 501st sandbagged in, I don't think he's going to have the movement to get into Lee's scoring zone. So I think these bikes are going to end up being the clincher, especially because Vader's in the mix as well.
this unit will aim
By Tom McDonald.
I think a couple of tokens taken off slightly prematurely. Snow Trooper moving, taking a pot shot, getting nothing, and moving again towards the scoring zone. I think unfortunately for Andy, I think Lee has just got the volume of bodies and activations within the scoring zone. Like I say, there's just under 15 minutes left on this round, so I don't think he'll have the space to get through to the scoring zone, which I would imagine we're now going to see a couple of 1-pips. Vader's Might would still be pretty good.
You only lost 56, what are you running? What are you running? You only lost like 1 unit. Oh no, you lost, sorry, yours then, sorry.
This is where the fun begins versus Vader's Might. So, as expected, the 1-pips, the roll off for priority. Just Vader, just Anakin. Vader remains immobile, but he is in the scoring zone. So, I think what he might do is Vader's Might, just to bring. Okay, so Anakin looking to move, force push Vader out of the deployment zone, so that he's not going to be scoring. Great choice here. Vader doesn't have saber throw, so if he's putting him in melee. What I was thinking was that he might leave him outside of melee so other people could shoot him. It won't help the final result of the game. Oh wow. A full boat of 6 on Vader. Vader is obviously immune to pierce, so that's... Well, he's going to put some wounds on him though. Interesting choice to leave Vader in the scoring zone. I would have force pushed him outside of scoring.
Do you remember when direct manager
It's not that.
it's not that, it's that. You're running out of words.
But he has left him outside of... Yeah, he is shootable, but he can also... I think what he's going to do is activate Vader's Might, throw that unit of clones into melee, and then just swing the lightsaber, which means that there's only going to be 2 squads of 2 ARC troopers to potentially shoot back, but it is leaving him away from the objective. I think at this point, Andy probably knows that he's not going to be able to get to the objective, and I think he's at this point just going to try and get as many wounds as possible onto Vader, because when you've lost, sometimes that is the most fun thing to do. But saying that, I think at the moment the only unit that's actually in the scoring zone is Vader, which means that there is still a chance, because the time is ticking down. So rolling on the Vader's Might, There is a couple of wounds there. 3 wounds, so he's going to lose 3 of the core, which is pretty big. I think at this point, depending on the speed of play, if it's only Vader, he could still take Vader down. Vader's only got 2 health left. Vader's going to wipe out that squad of clones, I think. Yeah. But again, he's still in no man's land. I think Lee has managed to take out more on points, leaving just 2 squads of Arcs, Anakin and an AT-AT, as opposed to 4 squads of Bikes, Vader and the single snowtrooper unit that's left. So I think he's ahead on points at this time. So he's Vader's mitered, he's going to force choke. I wonder if he's going to force push Anakin into... I know he's already swung his lightsaber, so I wonder if he's going to just... so force pushing Anakin into melee is going to keep Vader alive for the rest of the turn, because nothing's going to be able to shoot him and Anakin's already been, so he can't disengage. So that is going to preserve the 200 plus points that are tied up in Vader. And he's not going to be able to get the movement to get into the scoring zone. So even with this double move, I think he's going to be short. Yeah, there we go. I think what he's going to want to do is fish for that AT-AT and hope that Lee doesn't pull any bikes and get some more bikes into the scoring. There you go. Lee pulls some bikes. This is classic Blizzard Force on breakthrough. So the bike's taking their compulsory move. And then going to shoot into the ARC troopers with Echo. So checking on that remaining ARC trooper, because they could shoot their sidearms. Their sidearms pretty good. They get 2 black per mini. It's got no arc on it. And then he could also split his fire.
Star Wars Nation players, you have 5 minutes remaining to hard dice down. If you have results, you have to speak. No.
Just 1, which he's going to spend that surge to keep the activation alive. Pulling that same ARC Trooper squad. They're going to aim and shoot at that. Oh no, I think they might just tie him up in melee. So if they're just going to move, and then they're going to shoot. There we go. Okay, so shoot him. Spend the aim for Pierce, which kills the squad, which means that he can't have another one double move into the objective. So then another squad of bikes. I think all he needs to do is pivot, double move. There we go. So compulsory move to move towards the deployment zone. There's the move, and that's going to leave him sitting pretty with 3 activations in the deployment zone to none. I think they're going to play out the rest of the turn, but if he can get the ATRT in, he's going to get at least 1.
3 minutes and then hard dice.
I think this is it's pretty much it's a done deal. Just going to get the ATRT in the deployment zone there, and although we have one more turn available for him to play, there's only minutes left on the clock. Yeah, a triple move with the bike. There you go, and the handshake. That has left Blizzard Force on a 4-1 on victory points. That was a great game. I really appreciate you joining our stream. Thank you for bearing with us. This is our first stream that we've done and had a couple of technical issues, but I hope that you'll join us after the lunch break for the next round, which will be starting at 1 o'clock, I believe. Okay, if you join us back at 1 o'clock, so in an hour, we will have